Ife Durosinmietti is your go-to entrepreneur. Ife has also carved a niche for helping the girl child and women around Africa actualize their dreams. As an author, her book, Accessing Grants for New Startups, helps young people see the hidden opportunities in grants and several fundings that help the new entrepreneur. Ife is a fellow of several fellowships, one of which is the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Hi everyone, welcome to the Breaking the Coconut Show. My name is Charles Umeh, and today I have an amazing guest. Her name is Ife Durosinmietti. Ife, welcome to the BTC Show.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
First things first, this is your book. So what is this book all about?
Okay, as you can see, the book is titled Accessing Grants for Startups, and it's supposed to help entrepreneurs across Africa access grants and other business opportunities. So basically, when I launched my business, Bambini, I have a business partner. We started it with our own funds and everything, and then all of a sudden, one day, my dad just called me and said he saw a grant opportunity by Tony Elumelu Foundation. That was in 2015, but it had closed. So I was like, you know what, I put it at the back of my mind that, okay, this thing, I'm sure every year it would open. And I read about it, I saw that every year it would open. So in 2016, January 1st, I said, you know what, I'm going to apply for this thing and I'm sure I'm going to get in. And that was how Bambini, we put in an application and then we got in. And, you know, for me, it was a game changer when that happened because it wasn't even just about the grant. It was also that another organization as big as the Elumelu Foundation could actually, you know, give us that credibility or stamp of approval that our business can actually change or transform Africa. So I said, you know, this organization, they've actually noticed us. You know, that means we're doing something that is right. So we started, you know, thinking about how to do things better. We went through the training and mentorship program. And that's what I always tell people. It's not just about the money that you get, it's also about the opportunity that you get through the platform. For example, anybody who wants to come and invest in Africa goes through the Tony Elumelu Foundation because they already know it's global. Mark Zuckerberg, no, not Mark Zuckerberg, Macron, the president of France. Yeah, he came to Nigeria. He met all of us. You know, other people coming to Nigeria, the British government, everybody, they always go through that foundation because they already know that they already have a platform consisting of 4,000 entrepreneurs who are already doing amazing things. So it's always important, you know, your network, you know, the people that you have around your community, and you have a network of over 4,000 people. I have that network. You know, I had my book tour in Botswana, and it was so easy for me to go to Botswana to go and talk to them about this book because I knew an entrepreneur there. But if I didn't have access to that person, there was no way I would go. For example, if eventually I want my business to go to Botswana, you can't just go to Botswana and go and register a company. You have to have a partner who is resident there. But the only reason why I would even have access to them is because of the network and they trust me. So, you know, you have those kind of things. Some people can host you. I've heard of stories where people go to Egypt, go to different countries, and the entrepreneurs there would actually host them. You know, they don't have to stay in hotels, just different things. You have this Pan-African network, and that's just one. There are other opportunities, global opportunities. There's Mandela Washington Fellowship, which is not a grant, but the Mandela Washington Fellowship is a fellowship of, you know, young African leaders. So you go through a leadership program in a university in the States. They give you a certificate, they give you everything you need. They also have this alumni network that's also amazing, and you know, that's also Pan-African. But you have access to the American network, and they also give I don't know, backing. You know, you can have events at the consulate, you can have events at American Corner. Just because you're part of the network, you have those things sometimes even for free. I think it's actually even for free. So it's just important to look for the network that is good. join these networks. There's Harambee Alliance, there's the Ashoka Fellowship. Ashoka Fellowship, they actually even pay you to be a social entrepreneur. So once you're already doing amazing stuff, you apply, you get on board. They pay you for 3 years so that you don't have to think about money. You just join them. They give you your it's a stipend, so that you can concentrate on what is good and doing good for humanity. So there are just different things that you can do, different things that you can network. So different places that you can join so that you can create better impact, not just you working in silos. So that's what I try to promote. Join different communities, join different networks, also contribute as well as much as you can, so that other people can also benefit from these opportunities. And also I noticed that people that knew about these opportunities were the same. So I go to different places, I keep seeing the same faces all the time, and it doesn't really make sense. Why can't you democratize these opportunities? So that's where the book comes in, so that people can apply properly. So the problem is sometimes you might even know about these opportunities, but you might not even believe in yourself enough. You might think, oh, your business has passed that phase, or your business has not even gotten to the phase for getting grants and all of that. You have different fears in your head. It might be your husband, your mother, your dad, the different people telling you that you can't. So I just said, you know what, let me do a guide pretty much that can help people respond to the most popular questions that they usually ask in these grant applications, from things like your personal profile, to your leadership capabilities, to your sustainability model for your business model, your revenue model, things like that. What are your goals? A lot of people don't know how to respond to those kind of questions. Some applications, for example, the British Council, when they're sending out a grant, when they're giving out grants, they don't even ask you the questions one by one. They just say, okay, we have, for example, $100,000 to invest in people in the arts community. Apply, and then they'll give you guidelines. So it's you that would now go, and the guidelines are not necessarily what you should put in this grant application. It's just, okay, we want to know that, okay, you have maybe experience in art, you've been able to maybe do a film festival or whatever, those like guidelines and eligibility. So you would now go and write your own application. So I've also, apart from responding to the questions, most popular questions, I've also put like a chapter where I've broken it down to all the information that needs to go in a grant proposal. So just different things. I also interviewed a couple of table shakers. I hope I'm not speaking too much.
It's okay.
Okay. I also interviewed a couple of table shakers in the industry. So people who have received grants and how it has helped their businesses and themselves go global. Just so people know that, these things can actually take your business to the next level, no matter how small the grant is. Because even if it's also not a grant, even if it's just a fellowship or whatever, it gives you visibility and credibility that adds to yourself and your business as a whole.
Okay.
Thank
cool.
you.
So, okay, now, what was growing up for you? How did you was it something that's always been behind, or something that just evolved as you found your path?
Growing up for me was nice. I'm not going to say, oh, I had a rough background or anything, and come up with all those stories that touch. But growing up, my parents, I think they gave me everything I needed to succeed. I went to some of the best schools, and I really thank them for it. But they also made me understand that I can achieve anything I want to achieve, no matter my gender or anything. Like when I went to school here. My school was Covenant University. And
I love in Covenant University.
I was Covenant University, and when I was there, I hated it so much. Like I was like, why?
All of you say the same thing.
Like I was like, why does life have to be this hard? Why can't I have a phone? Why can't I do this? Why do EDS? Because we had this course called Entrepreneurial Studies, and nobody else was offering that kind of course in Nigeria. I'd never even heard of it. I was like, upon all 10 courses, all my friends in London, they were doing like 3 courses and they were fine. We were doing like 8 courses. Then we now had to do EDS and TMC, which was like Total Mark Concept and Entrepreneurial Studies. But now I realized that those are the things that are actually helping me. Yeah. So back in the day, we thought it was no point, but there was no point. But like you said, a lot of people that went to Covenant, a lot of us are entrepreneurs, and a lot of us are actually also creating impact. So I'm very, very thankful that I went there. I listened to my parents, because in my mind I thought I was traveling. There was no reason why I should school in Nigeria, I didn't have to get a visa and all of that. And then they said no. My mom was like, I've gone to go and collect the form, fill the form and go here. But I'm very, very thankful. Like, I think God plans your life, from when you're young, and so that you can achieve things that you need to achieve. So yes, growing up was good. I grew up with around my siblings, my cousins, and We learned a lot. Obviously, people have ups and downs in life, and I also went through that. But yeah, it's brought me to where I am today. I did biochemistry in school.
Okay.
In university, I eventually did an MBA, which happened by chance. I traveled and I said, I'm just going to stay back and do this MBA. And all these things have helped me, become who I am today. So I'm thankful for them.
There's this debate of I was having a chat with you earlier on, grants and loans. Now,
Okay.
for new businesses in this part of the world, especially Africa, most businesses finally get stifled with grants, and this is what I mean. Most of the times, because it's free, most people don't tend to be accountable, and we always say free money at times is not healthy for new businesses. Now, what are case studies that makes this assertion not too completely true?
To be honest, I think it's your individuality, and sometimes you have to go through bad things to get to the promised land. Yeah. So even if, for example, I don't think a grant can ever be bad.
Okay.
I think it's an addition to whatever you have, but it's also about the responsibility of the individual. If you know you're starting a business, you might make bad choices whether or not you get a grant.
Very true.
And the truth is that you just have to be responsible for it and stand up for it, whether you got the grant or not. So if you make a bad decision, just step it up and move on and look for how else your business, because to be honest, you're not going to be thinking, or your mindset should not be, I have to get a grant to be able to progress. Your mindset should be, okay, you want to remain profitable so that you can grow your business. So if you get a grant, it's just an addition. Then maybe you can get to where you want to get to faster. But it's not something that you should be chasing, because this can also be a distraction where you're just chasing grants, and you're not really doing the work. So it's important for you to just make sure that you have everything you're doing. Make sure your business is profitable. Make sure you have an accountant. Make sure you're paying your taxes. Make sure all those things are in place so that when you have a bad time, don't think that it's because you got a grant that you're having this bad time. You just don't have a good business model. And the truth is that sometimes your business might not even be ready for that. Nigeria might not even be ready for that business. That doesn't mean it's not a good business. So I've heard people speak. One of my very, very good, one of the most, in fact, one of the youngest entrepreneurs who are very, very successful in Nigeria. He started a business. In fact, he started like 4 businesses before he even hit this jackpot. And he told me that, you know what, there was a business idea that I started, which in my mind was going to blow Nigeria. He came from, I don't want to say the country where he came from, because people might decode. And he had this idea that it was going to be amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then he started the business and it didn't kick off for him. And then he found another business that he started, which is doing amazingly well. And then somebody else has started that business that he wanted to do and is doing well for the person. So it doesn't mean that the business is not good and it's the exact same business model. Nigeria just might not be ready.
Really, at
that point in time. So don't beat yourself too much. The cocoa of entrepreneurship, I believe, is just to keep trying, keep evolving, and look for what works for you. Because that idea God might have just said, you're not going to succeed at that one, and it might be the other person's idea. It might be the other person that it would work for. So just keep doing it. And I just feel like it's a destination. It's a journey, not really a destination. So, and you finally get to where you're going to. Don't just don't just hold on to it. And if it's not working, move on.
You have case studies of people that have made much impact with grants.
Yes.
Okay.
Their businesses. Okay, some of the people I spoke to, or some of the people who I spoke about in the book, I spoke about the founders of Recycle Points, Choma.
Okay.
Chioma has gotten so many grants, won so many competitions, and she has gone global in such a short period of time. By me saying short, she started a business maybe even 6 years ago, but it's in the last 3 years that people are really knowing about the business. But the business has done absolutely well. I'm not sure what their revenue is or what their profit is, but they're doing well in terms of visibility, like globally, not just in Nigeria. I'm not going to talk about people's revenue and all of that, but another person I spoke to was Fumbi, who is the CEO or founder, one of the founders of Passion Incubator. When he started from nothing, pretty much. Someone saw a YouTube video of him and whisked him off to India. Came back to Nigeria. He got a $7,000 grant, and today his company is worth a lot of money, and he's also impacted a lot of tech businesses in Nigeria. So, and there are other people I spoke to. Somebody, I'm not just entrepreneur. I spoke to one person who works with NASA. In the States, and she also took advantage of opportunities along the way, and those opportunities paved the way for NASA, her getting a job at NASA, and she's doing amazingly well for a very young lady, and you can read all that information in the book. There's so many people doing amazing things. There's shuttlers who also received grants. She's also been part of different accelerators, and her own story is very peculiar because when she started her business, she was almost at the verge of closing down. I think they had actually even shut down maybe for some time, and then she won. She got into an accelerator, and then that accelerator helped her to redefine her business model and strategy and all of that. And then she started again, and now the business is doing well. So it's not just grants. Different things can help you. Just make sure you get help. Join different communities because they would actually help your business.
You're a millennial, you're an entrepreneur. Now, from the people you've met, because it's obvious you've had much interaction with people, and this era, I would rather say in this era, most of the people you get more insights from are digital influencers like you. So you've been able to meet more people. What would you say is the main challenge for the African and the Nigerian millennial who are entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurs? What's the main challenge that you've seen in your current, and how do you think they could be able to overcome it with your own insights?
I think for any entrepreneur, not just even the millennials, I think most of our issues are in our head. I think our main issue is fear. And once you overcome fear, you can achieve anything. And that was the defining moment for me. When I used to work, I was working with Nigerian breweries before.
I saw your track record now. You had work, and I was like, what made you jump?
Yes, exactly. I was working, and I started my business while I was working, and the business wasn't really meant to. I was never going to do this full time. I couldn't even date an entrepreneur. That's how bad it was. So I was very career oriented. I wanted to work in a blue chip company till I reached the top of my career ladder, and then I resigned and all that, or retire and all of that. So it was never even in my dream or anything. I could sell things on the side. I've always sold things right from university. So I just said, you know what? When I had my daughter and her furniture was very expensive, and then when I tried to ship it down to Nigeria, they said it was contraband. Then I was like, why do people have to pay so much to bring in furniture? Why is it contraband? I had to pay apart from how much I paid to ship it in, I had to pay 250,000 naira to clear it. So I was like, okay, let me look for carpenters, because I used to live alone before I got married. So I brought together, some carpenters, because I knew that I could make this stuff. So we just reverse engineered some of the cuts I had brought back and all of that, and that's how Palambamini pretty much started. So I was like, we started doing it, and then the orders kept on coming. So I was like, okay, this thing doesn't look too bad. So we started doing it. So I was working even 2 years into the business, and then it got to a point where business started calling us, needing us. We got the workshop. We had, but nobody wanted to stay in the workshop without us being there because there was pretty much no direction to the person. So that's when we knew that it was time for us to actually go quit our jobs and face this full time. And I prayed, obviously, before I did it, and it was I knew that I got that satisfaction and sign that it was time for me to leave. Yeah.
And ever since, the journey has been good.
Not necessarily, I'm not even going to lie that the journey has been
because that's the challenge. People always believe is a smooth sailing journey.
In fact, the first week we got like this blow. I don't want to say what exactly happened, but it was crazy. I was like, okay, welcome to entrepreneurship. So it's been crazy. It's been really, it's been like highs, lows, and I think it's a learning curve. And like I said, entrepreneurship is tough. You can't just sit down there and just think that everything you're going to do is going to work. Like, I'm also even in a partnership. Partnerships are also not easy.
True.
So it's been tough, but we found a way to still stay on course and all that. And at the end of the day, it would work. I think you need to keep pushing, really.
Okay, so final heads up to the new entrepreneur that is about going to do something different.
Yes. Don't be scared. Just do it. Don't be scared. I say it every time. Fear has stolen lots of dreams. Dreams that can pay off Nigeria's debts. So please don't be scared. That's all I'll say. That's the best advice you can give anybody. Once you have, and I have a chapter, I have a letter to women even in my book. Okay. Please. Take advantage of opportunities around you. There's so many. Every day I post about 3 opportunities, and I've not even posted everything. It's just so that I don't bombard you guys, but I post at least.
So let's hear your Instagram handle.
Okay, my Instagram handle is Ife Durosinmietti. So it's at Ife Durosinmietti, and I have another page where I post opportunities for entrepreneurs and professionals who want to take advantage of opportunities. That one's called the AGS Tribe. So the AGS Tribe is a group of people who are willing to blow. Pretty much, take advantage of opportunities and blow. So I send them newsletters. I send out the opportunities to them. I try to look for opportunities as well for them, even opportunities that are not even available. And I have different things to help even women as well. I have the AGS Enterprise Challenge, which I started last year, and I hope to continue it yearly, where we fund, showcase, and promote female-led businesses, and just help them, give them like an office space for 3 months. We have partners, and fund their businesses, just so that more women can be encouraged.
Okay, cool. So one more last thing. There's something we're going to break in coconut. Okay. So we'll let you see breaking in coconut your own dialect. See, breaking the coconut.
Should have told me. I don't know.
We even made it easy for you.
Breaking the coconut.
In your own dialect.
What? I don't know. Let me not even lie.
The camera is on you.
Let me not even try. Breaking. More for coconut. I tried that.
More for coconut.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ife. Thanks for coming. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for the impact you made. Now, you could get this book and look at the opportunity. But I think the main thing is follow Ife and get updated with information. So keep doing what you do, keep shining your own light, and hopefully we'll all get these grants and make good use of it.
Amen. Grants and other opportunities, not just
grants and other opportunities. Yeah, you said so. Okay, one more thing. Finally, we have a gift for you.
Okay.
So we have a gift. So what do you think the gift is?
Coconut.
Okay. So it's not coconut.
Okay.
So we have a gift for you, and
Okay.
we hope you like it.
Okay. Oh, you guys are going to make me cry. Oh, thank you.
So this for you. This
Thank
courtesy
you.
us, and so you have a good picture of you.
Oh, thank you. This is so nice. I'm going to frame it. Thank you.
Cool.
So you do this in 60 seconds.
Okay, you do it from when we started talking to now.
That's nice. Thank you. I really like it. Oh, this is so pretty.